What's up, everybody? I'm Doggie Diamonds. This is Doggie Diamonds TV. Now, I got some frankincense burning. You know, the charcoal things. I put the frankincense resin in there. Smelling all spiritual in here right now. You know what I mean? Sometimes we got to wake our spirit up. You know what I'm saying? Not that lyrical, miracle, spiritual, biblical stuff. I'm just saying, you know, sometimes a good fragrance in the air, some frankincense, you know, that's what's going on. So if you want to know why I look a little hazy, that's why. So, without any further ado, let's get into hotnewhiphop.com, and they covered Bobby Brown's interview with Club Shay Shay, where Bobby Brown says Chris Brown is closer to MJ. Michael Jordan, that is. Nope. Michael Magic Johnson, that is. Nope. Michael Jackson, yeah, that MJ. You know, the king of pop, MJ? Yeah, that MJ than Usher is. I'll cover that later. So it reads, Bobby Brown was acknowledged as the king of R&B in the 90s for his massive R&B classics Rock With You, Every Little Step, and Roni. Bobby Brown, the king, weighs in on the trendy debate if Usher or Chris Brown is the next Michael Jackson. During a recent appearance on Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharpe, Brown, who has a history with the Jacksons, stepped into the debates. Who, if anyone, has come close to matching the king of pop? The R&B icon didn't hesitate with his answer. For Brown, the torchbearer of Jackson's legacy isn't up for debate. It's Chris Brown. Chris Brown is a dancer, a singer. Well, you know what? We don't really have to play this. We could just let him speak for himself, and we could go into what he said.
There's always a debate. Who's the closest in your time? Who is the closest thing to Michael since Michael? You know, you hear.
I just gotta say, I'm not really a sneaker dude, but yo, Shannon Sharpe kicks is fire, yo. I'm sorry, y'all. My bad. But that's just a quick sidebar. Them kicks is fire. What are those? Those are Air Max. See, I ain't even no sneakerhead, but I'm gonna need those. No, them kicks is fire. Please, somebody leave me a comment. Tell me what kind of sneakers those are, cause I must have those. But back to the debate.
Since Michael, you know, you hear Chris Brown, you hear
Usher. I would go with Chris Brown.
Really?
I would go with Chris Brown.
Because
Chris
of
Brown,
the dancing and the singing aspect
Chris
of it?
Brown is a dancer, singer, slash great entertainer.
Right, okay.
He goes out there and he does the ultimate stuff on stage.
That's interesting to me because there's others, but yeah, I would say Chris Brown, but let him continue.
And you just have to love it. Usher's also a great entertainer, but I got to go with Chris on being as close to Michael as anybody could ever get.
And it would.
Let's hold on. I need my theme music. Where we at? There we go. First and foremost, let's let it be known, nobody is close to MJ, Michael Jackson. Nobody. So I understand what they saying, but Chris Brown, I ain't seen nobody fainting at his concerts. Grown ass men. Usher concerts, I ain't seen nobody fainting. Michael Jackson did not have social media. And his career spanned from a young man all the way up to his demise when he passed away. We talking about decades. We talking about different genres and times of music. Michael Jackson. Nobody's close to Michael Jackson. And I kind of find it ironic that I think Bobby Brown would pick Chris Brown, because I know for a while that Bobby Brown didn't like Usher. And if you know, you know. He used to have a lot of run-ins with Usher because Usher used to pay homage to Bobby Brown, and Bobby Brown didn't like it. One time, he allegedly confronted Usher at an event. I want my spot back, and you know, you're not the king, I'm the king, and all that. If you know, you know. If you heard about it before, you heard about it. But Chris Brown is dope. I like Chris Brown. But I don't think Chris Brown has a thriller. I don't think Usher has a thriller. Although they both have dope albums and dope songs for their respected times, but they don't have a thriller. They don't have a Billie Jean record. They don't have a Thriller song. They don't have the endless duets Michael Jackson did. They don't have they were never in a group that was popping. Think about it. When you think about Michael Jackson, he was in the Jackson 5. Then he was like in the Jacksons. The Jacksons ain't the Jackson 5. The Jacksons was, I think, when Randy joined the group and Jermaine left. Then Jermaine came back and Randy was still there. That's when I think they made the 2300 Jackson Street. The Jacksons as little young dudes had hits. They had hits as teenagers. Then they had hits as adults. Then he had his solo hits by himself. Come on, man. Yo, Usher is fire to me. Chris Brown is fire. But that's a blasphemous question from Shannon Sharpe. And I know it's going to get questioned a lot. I remember at one point, some of you bozos was throwing Justin Timberlake in there. I was, man, this month. Y'all was throwing Genuine in there. He's the next Michael Jackson. Y'all always trying to look to replace our greats. Don't like it. Remember y'all was saying Justin Timberlake? Remember he did that, gonna rock your body and today? I was like, I was mad. Nobody gonna replace Michael. Nobody. Michael Jackson is the king of pop. The king. No social media. He was doing all that with no social media. Like, you gotta think, if Michael Jackson was alive when it was an Instagram and he put up they would need servers to be able to carry the amount of people who wouldn't follow Michael Jackson. Just really think about that. Imagine what his streaming numbers would be if he was alive to still sell the music. So I get what they're saying. I get, we could say who's the next this, who's the next that. They always want to make the next Michael Jordan, the next Magic Johnson, the next Mike Tyson. Whenever it's just somebody great, it always got to be the next. But out of all the people you name, whether it's Jordan, Tyson, sound like Biggie, right? Jordan, Tyson, yeah, but anyway, there will never be another Michael Jackson. We'll never see nothing like that. Never, not in our lifetime. So if you agree with me, I'm gonna need your comments. I'm gonna need your opinion. Oh, and tell me what them sneakers this Shannon Sharpe got, because I want those. Matter of fact, I got some gold Air Force Ones that I wore like 2 times. They ain't even get the crease yet. I wore them so little, you walk a certain way, you don't want that crease. But nah, I got to go crease those. No, but I want those, whatever he got. Let me know what those are, but I don't want to derail my own subject. Let me know what you think about this Michael Jackson torch being passed to somebody, or Bobby Brown passing the torch. Let me know what you think in the comments below.